Okay, my name is Will Larsen. This is my ECEN330 project. I designed an ultrasonic sensor hooked up to the game controller as a distance meter. So when I push A, it'll start scanning and display how far away my hand is in centimeters. And then if I push Option, it'll switch it into inches. You can see that value will change. If I want to save the value that it currently shows, I can push A and it'll go back into an idle state, and then even in this state while the value is saved, I can push Option again and switch back into centimeters. And if I want to start scanning again, I can push A, it'll scan again, switch units, and then for this project I had to mod my sensor so that the signal coming out of it was only 3.3 volts, but it requires 5. So I used this DC boost converter to make sure that the 3.3 volts coming out of the controller stepped up to 5 for the sensor to work. And then here's my code. I wrote everything here in the sensor.c file. And I implemented it so that the screen is handled by the main core as well as the state machine, and then any of the sensor calculation logic is handled on a separate core so that it can have microsecond accuracy. So here's the draw functions. This is the task code that gets started on the separate core. And then here's my state machine. I decided to handle my buttons as melee actions because pushing button A switches it into the idle state, so I just found it easier to keep all of my button logic together. Here's my actions, state machine. And then yeah, main.c, I followed the lab 6 template pretty close. I just took out the cursor function, and otherwise it's pretty similar.